I want to go over how to use DataRefTool. The current version is 2.4.0, and I've been using DataRefTool for many, many years now. And, I've used it with my X80 panels, and I've used it with XCheck. So figured I would go ahead and do a do a video about it. So so once it's installed, then basically you click under plugins and click on search. So the window shows up here. I'll put it over here. It's a little bit wider, and I'll drag it out like that. Now about here. I'm trying to make it so that it's wide enough to use, but I don't cover up the instruments. When I did the video before, I was you can actually see the instrument. So excuse me. So we'll the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in some search parameters. So if I type in like com and then do a space, now I'm going to do nav. So basically, when you put a space in the search indicators, and all of these are unselected. So if you put a space in here, basically it's an and. So it has to, any data ref has to have a com and a nav in it. So if I put another space in here, and if the space bar doesn't work, if you hit the shift and space bar, that should work. So I put a 1 in there. So now that limited the list even more. So that's how that works. It's this variable and this variable and this variable. Each data ref has to have that. So we'll so the next thing we'll go over is a regular expression. That's this here. So if I click on that, and I'm going to use an example from the web DataRefTool web page. So I type in NAV bracket 23 in bracket space audio. So the way the bracket works when you're using regular expression is the bracket. This is like 2 or 3. So not and, this is 2 or 3. So it's nav 2 or 3 and audio. So if I come over here and type 1, so now you have you have the 1, 2, and then there's some 3s, some nav 3s in here. So that's basically what the purpose of the regular expression is. So we'll go ahead and we'll turn that off. And when you turn it off, because this it's not going to find anything that looks like this. So it's a complete. It doesn't find anything that looks like that. So the next one we're going to go over is the case. So if I type in capital CDI, so we can see we have a lowercase CDI and we have some uppercase CDIs. So if I turn this on, then all it's going to show is uppercase because it's matching this uppercase CDI. So if I get rid of that and then just type lowercase CDI, then the CDIs it's finding are all lowercase. So that's case. That's what that's purpose is. So. So the next one we're going to use is called change. So right now, if I turn the battery on and off, it's a little hard to actually find what's going on. So what we can do is type in that. So we turn that on. And the same thing, it's like all this stuff. So if we turn this on, now we get a much better understanding of what's going on. So now when we turn the battery switch on and off, things are starting to make a little more sense. So over here, I have it on all. So basically it's finding DataRefs and commands. So if I click it on there, all it's going to find is DataRefs. So we're trying to find, so if you look at this electrical battery on, so I'm going to type in, I'm actually going to highlight this, and I'm going to copy the name. Now I'm going to put up here, I'm going to do Control B. And I'll come over here, basically going to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So now I have battery on. Now if I turn it off, so you can see these two. And then these are DataRefs. So battery on, and then battery on, and then this is an array. So an array, if I click on that array, then basically it gives you this edit thing here. So if I click on this, I'll have to slide this over a little bit. So this is basically all of the, this is the array. So the array is, let me look, should be 8. Yeah, int 8. So if I turn this, so you can see position 0 was on and off. Now we'll see, I don't think I can do this. So if I try to turn it on, yep. So if I turn the, if I enter a 1 in there, then basically I'm turning the, or if I put a 0 in, I'm turning the battery switch on and off. So that's doing it with a DataRef. So if I click on this and click on, and the COM is commands. So if I do the same thing with command, it's not seeing anything because battery on. So let me try, yeah, that'll work. So the commands were not battery underscore on, it was just battery 1, 2, so now if we turn it on and off, so we can see that when I turn it on, that highlights, and then it goes to green, and then I turn it off. So how you would use this is that if you wanted to, good example is like in my x80 panels where basically I'm going to map the switches on the switch panel. I'm going to map them to so that when I turn the battery switch on the panel on, it will turn the battery on there. So I have opened up the INI file. So I would come over here and I would change this to remappable command, and then I check, and that's on. So if I highlight that and copy the name, and then I come down here and I want a space, and then I do Control V, then I copy that in there. I go down to the off, and now if I turn it off, The off one highlights. Copy the name and Control V, paste it in place. So that basically is how you would use DataRefTool to find items on a virtual cockpit to be able to connect some hardware. So those were commands. Now on the on checklist. So I'm going to go down here and look at the checklist. So we'll pick on the battery one on. So I'm going to basically, this is the checklist that's already been done. So I'm going to go and I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to paste that here. Control V. And we're a little bit too wide here. I wanted to make sure I could get this to show up. Okay, that'll work. So that is a DataRef. So the my x80 panels can use DataRefs or commands, but xChecklist uses DataRefs. So now I need to change this to that. And so if you're going through the checklist and you turn the battery on, the battery on DataRef is going to turn on. And so when we look here on item 56, it says battery on, and then there's a colon and 1. So that basically says that for the battery for this condition to pass, battery on needs to be a 1, and it is. So if we were coming down to it, would say it's looking for avionics. Really, avionics on? That's kind of weird. But oh, it's trying to listen to the band. But basically, so it's going to check. Oh, avionics. It's got a 0, so it's off. So the DataRef is electrical avionics on, but it has a 0, so so the avionics is off, and which what it should be right now. So if I go and just copy avionics on, copy that, paste it up here, Control V. Gotta get rid of one thing. So I figure out why it's not happy. It's a DataRef. There it is. Okay. Oh, yeah. Now I know. So that would basically make sure the condition. The thing you want is you want this to be off. So that's how you would do that part of it. So I think we've went across all of that. So now I'm going to go over some of the other kind of things that are in this drop-down menu. So basically, this allows you to rescan for DataRefs and commands. So in other words, you've done something and you want to basically get a new snapshot of DataRefs and commands. Here we can reload an aircraft, reload plugins, reload scenery. And here we can reload plugins on modification. So if you make a change to a plugin, you can have it basically reload the plugins on that. Another rather important thing is update rate. DataRefTool, if it's doing work, will have a bit of an impact on your frames. So this has been added so that you can kind of control that. So normally it ships default as full. So basically it's working as hard as it can. But you can basically reduce how frequently it goes and looks for change. And so you can have it like once every second, it's going to change. Or, here it's like 50 times a second. So it allows you to change that. The reduced colors is for colorblind people. It's just a different color palette that is more suitable for people that are colorblind. The enabled debug mode, debug would help if you're having trouble and Lee needs some help in trying to solve a problem. Uh, he may have you turn the debug mode on, and basically it kind of gives a whole bunch of debug information in the log file, and it can be very verbose, so it they can fill up your log file pretty good. And so here's about. So you can see this is DataRefTool 2.4.0. So think if there's anything else. So I just want to go over at the end here just features. So basically it allows us to read, write, and search for DataRefs. You can search for and execute commands. Uh, so basically, if you have a command, you can basically execute it. So let me get that. Let me explain that. BAT, and I'm going to change it to commands. So if so the battery's on right now. So if I highlight this and say activate, it's going to turn the battery on. So that's what that means, is that uh, uh, execute commands. That's what that means. Hasten sensitive search. Uh, that's this guy right here. So and it supports Windows, Linux, and Mac. On X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12. It also, much to my pleasure, it works in VR. So if you have the need to use this in VR, it absolutely works there. And I tried that out yesterday. Um, Filters recently changed. DataRefs, color DataRefs recently changed, and that's kind of what you're seeing here. Is that when these change, so the color changes slowly, goes to a steady color. So DataRefs of all data types, including arrays, and so if I go to that, so this is an array. So if I click it on here, this allows slide over just a little bit, make it more clear. So basically this so this is an array, and basically what this one is battery amps. So it's how much the battery. It's a minus 5.5. So basically I'm drawing because I have the battery on and the engine isn't running, I'm drawing 5 amps out of the battery, and it is the first battery. So position 0 is the first battery. First, second, third, fourth. Cessna has 1, so it's this one here. It allows things to work quite a bit better. That if you click around here, you can get the inputs to work. So in other words, so if I need to put a space in here, I can absolutely do that. So it allows me to do that, and yeah, makes it easier to deselect. Right, makes it easier to deselect the search field. Unlike DataRef Editor, so use Enter, Return, Escape, Tab, click elsewhere in the DataRefTool window. So if I'm trying to think how I get to a position where you can't get into a position, oh, maybe here. Oh, that works. Okay. But if this basically makes it easier, so you can always enter something in the search field. And the last one is cut, copy, paste, and select all search fields for DataRefs using standard keyboard shortcuts. So if I come down here and basically I highlight this, so that's highlighted. I can hit Control C, and then if I come up here, I hit Control V. So that allows keyboard shortcuts to basically enter information into the search field. So trying to go down through and make sure I got everything here. Yeah. Okay. The one other thing I wanted to go over, and this is important for people that have like 4K monitors. So on if you have a 4K monitor, sometimes these windows are pretty small. So what you can do is, if you go over under graphics, you got to hide. Okay. So you can go under graphics, and if you change the base font size, so this right here, so I'm going to go 2 notches up and then click on done. So it basically increased the font size in this window. So I'm going to go up another one, and it's not making the window any bigger. It's just making the font inside the window bigger. So go up some more. So we're 26 points. It takes just a second or so to kind of refresh it. So if you're on like a 4K monitor, this is very, very, very helpful. You know, that you can actually it actually can be usable. In my case, I run it clear down to the bottom because it's fine. So what? Did I find a bug? Oh, well, that's what happened. There we go. Okay. So I think that's everything I wanted to go over, and I think it turned out pretty good. I'll have to listen and make sure. But, yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you another time.